Josh Lowenthal is the chairman of the board of Children Today. Now, let me tell a little bit about Josh. I've known him all his life. His father is a very, very dear friend of mine. He was a professor at the university, and I took one of his classes, and we became friends for a long time. He was even given a toast in my wedding. He's a very kind man, and when you hear Josh talk, you're going to hear his father because they have the same tone of voice, the same compassion. Josh, thanks so much for doing this interview about this Children's Today daycare center. Now, it's really interesting to me, and you're a businessman, and you're an intense businessman, but you take out time in your busy schedule to be the chairman of the board of something so philanthropic, so altruistic. What motivated you to get involved with this?
Well, first of all, before I answer that, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on the show, because any chance I can have to educate the community about what's going on with Children Today and what's going on with the homeless community here in Long Beach is positive. So thank you for this opportunity. I was always taught at a very young age, and not just within my family, but I think it's part of the sort of larger culture of Long Beach to be involved and to contribute whenever you can. I think that's something that's been, taught to me at a very young age, and I carry that with me. And to be honest with you, it's of all the things that I do in my career, and I do several things. I'm involved in several businesses. This is the one where I get the most satisfaction from. And so it's a labor of love to be involved. And I think being in the board of directors and being responsible for the fiduciary, the financial health of the organization, is where I can contribute the best. So
I should say also that I'm a dear friend of his mother's, and she'll kill me not to introduce her as a good friend of mine. We've been friends for a long time, and public service runs through your family.
And I'm glad you mentioned my mom as well, because homelessness, my mom is really sort of the champion as far as public officials are concerned of the issue of homelessness, and being around her my entire life and understanding that is really important. I think so much of today's, society's view of homelessness is so negative.
Yes.
And really, it's an institutional problem that we have. There are more humans, there are more people in this country than there are jobs and opportunity. The minimum wage, especially in areas like Southern California, where the cost of living is so high, means that a vast portion of our society is going to be living below the poverty line. That's a fact. So we, under these institutional guidelines, we are going to have homelessness. How do we handle that? How do we deal with that as a society? And that's...
Well, let me pose the question back to you. How do we deal with that? I know you don't have all the answers, but if you have a permanent underclass because of the class society we have here, you're going to have poverty, you're going to have crime. How do we deal with that from an agency you have here and from a public policy standpoint?
Well, there's two ways. Number one, you get involved like we are here at Children Today, where you break the cycle from the ground up. I say this whenever I get the chance to publicly. Homelessness is sort of a political hot potato. You cannot blame a 2-year-old for being homeless. And as we all know, children of that age, everything that's around them, all their surroundings, is going to be who they are as they grow up.
You know what, Josh? Let's go inside to see what it's like inside and continue our discussion. We'll be right back. We're back, and I was asking Josh about what is needed at this school. Josh, this is a privately run school, and of course funds are needed and expertise are needed, and you being the chairman of the board of the directors of this agency, tell us, what can the public do to support this effort?
Great question. First of all, since we've just opened our second site, our budget has doubled. So we're now over $1 million a year budget, completely raised by the organization, and the vast majority of it coming from within the community of Long Beach, as a matter of fact. I need to stress to you, Erroll, that this is a top-notch facility. Anybody should be happy to have their children here, and fully accredited, by the way, which only a minority of child care facilities have accreditation. having said that, there's an inclination of people to want to volunteer, and they think sort of like a canned food drive, they can volunteer and come participate. Childcare is a very delicate thing, and it's difficult for us to have strangers involved with the children on a day-to-day basis. So the biggest thing that people can do to help out the organization is provide resources. Now, number one, the obvious, the low-hanging fruit would be money. The more money we have, the more families that we can serve in this community. Right now, we're only serving a fraction of the homeless children in Long Beach. There's somewhere between 1 and 2,000 homeless children in Long Beach.
That's unconscionable.
It's mind-boggling. It's unacceptable.
Yes.
Between 1 and 2,000 homeless children in Long Beach. And so for us to be able to serve all of them, we're going to need to be from a $1 million organization to a $4 million organization of sorts. So the first thing that we can do, if there's any way that people could help, that would be great. And they can go to our website, childrentoday.org, to contribute. We do need volunteers, but the volunteers that we use are for our fundraising events. We have many of them throughout the year. You can find out about those on the website as well. And lastly, I would say we do a lot of things here where we need resources, and we publicize those on the website too. So we need diapers and formula and clothing for the children and whatnot, and all of those types of things. We gladly accept donations.
So businessmen, people who run business, if you want to become a part of this effort, all these type of non-perishable goods are needed at this center, and we certainly welcome you to do that.